welcome to our book review. Today we're gonna discuss about a book called The World is Flat by Thomas Friedman. Thomas is a New York Times columnist, therefore he has access to a lot of information. And once he embarks on a journey to India, and then he met a CEO there. With that conversation with the CEO led him to this book. So Thomas creates a 10 major reason why the world is flat. He said that this world is flat is because the rapid growth of technologies that makes the world flat. So we are all global neighbors. So here are the 10 reasons why the world is flat according to Thomas. So the 10 reasons that Friedman explained, he calls it 10 flattening forces. As he said, the world has been flattened by the convergence of 10 major political events, innovation, and companies. The first one is fall of the Berlin Wall. This event liberated millions of people and signaled the end of communism. The second one is the introduction of the World Wide Web and the Internet, that the users can now save, retrieve, send, and share intellectual content electronically and instantly. And the third one is a workflow software, where people were now able to collaborate while working remotely. They were able to design, display, manage, collaborate on projects and share data that was once handled manually and locally. People can now also use uploading, have free access to community developed software. We were introduced to forums. We were introduced to video share content. We can upload everything we want. We can upload data. And there are also outsourcing. The outsourcing has allowed companies to split service and manufacturing activities into components in the most efficient, cost-effective way. Say that a company hire the customer service outsourcing. So they are the one who's responsible for the receiving calls and then to provide service for the users. So the company can focus on doing product making.
Another forces are offshoring. Different from outsourcing, offshoring moves an entire operation, factory, and function to a completely different location. All things are equal except for labor costs, lower taxes, and subsidized energy. The combined savings creates a lower cost product. Next is supply chaining. Collaboration among suppliers, retailers, and customers to create value during the production and the distribution of a product. Supply chain methodologies also force the adoption of common industrial standards. Friedman points to Walmart as the best example of a company using technology to streamline item sales, distribution, and shipping. In addition to sourcing, there are also insourcing. Small and mid-sized companies are able to provide service to large supply chains without prohibitive expense, such as UPS fixing computers for Toshiba. Next is informing, which provides universal access to knowledge, information, and research. Anyone with an internet connection can access knowledge from the world's libraries. Google and other search engines are the prime example. And the last is wireless connectivity. Wireless access created a mobile society, so work was no longer tethered to a hardwired connection. All content could now be digitized, shared remotely, and reshaped. Friedman concludes that the forces that flatten the world can be used to bring everyone up to the same level, or to bring them all down to the same level. Those of us who live in free and progressive societies must lead others to use their imaginations without allowing their imaginations to get the best of them or us. Technology cannot protect us. We must harness the technology and decide how it will be used. In order to keep our values and perspective in a flat universe, we have to identify the line between precaution and uncertainty. We are called upon to remember who we are in a flat world to avoid losing our identity.
And the second book comes from David M. Smick. The world is curved hidden dangers to the global economy. Smick is a financial market consultant and chairman and CEO in the consultancy company of Johnson Smick International. Basically, this book opposes the views of Thomas Friedman, the world is flat. Smick considers all the potential negative ramifications of a constantly fluctuating global economy and analyzes possible solutions to these challenges. With the economic problems happening in our world that we cannot see clearly due to the lack of transparency, Smick believes this world is curved, since our sight lines are limited to oversee all the dangers. One of the problems happen is when it could lead to the euphoria that fuels financial bubbles because of lack of factual information. In this case, it caused global lending to screech dangerously to a halt. Meanwhile, regarding the globalization, it led to a greater worldwide wealth, which created a volatile oceans of capital new roaming the world in search of investment opportunities. This ocean of capital has become our policymakers' great challenge. Smick says that if they overact to the uncertainty of today's liquidity and credit situations, they might risk a financial and economic reversal that will affect everyone. However, nothing can happen if policymakers recognize the fragility of the capital markets and adopt new, carefully targeted strategic approaches to this brave new world. Smick believes that entrepreneurial capitalism within a financially integrated global system is the only model capable of delivering full-throated, out-and-out poverty reduction. Meanwhile, Smick described the international financial system that has developed a new set of risk management techniques and new advanced financial instruments. Smick also described the criticism that goes to the hedge fund, which is irresponsible, while Smick says it is helping to focus on the market and make it more efficient rather than relying on global financial uncertainties. In the meantime, the word entrepreneur was meant something negative. But for Smick, he says that they actually have improved our lives.
Conventional belief today is that China dominates the 21st century. Smick tells us that rapid growth in China threatens the entire world with economic bubble and financial bubble. He tells that the fundamental problem with China is lack of reliable information about the nation's economic situation. However, a huge amount of foreign capital has poured into China even if the lack of transparency. Smick also tells us about changes in globalization. All major participants active in the financial sector are aware that the level of common sense as well as the global economic instability and the structure continues to change. However, the vulnerability of the financial system in their mind is extremely ideological. Ignorance of the realities of a changing world can be very dangerous. People often think that the central bank had magical powers. No matter how financial crisis occurs, they will lower the interest rate of financial market and it will return to normal. Now, central bank has been more difficult to rely on monetary policy. The most recent case revealed that the limitation of the central bank was in the early years of the US subprime mortgage crisis occurred in 2008. When the central bank facing the global financial market, it is difficult to predict the political change through its uncertainty. In fact, globalization started in 1970s and the depression action on the free capital market can be called a political product. Therefore, whether the global economy has indeed gotten to survive in the 21st century, it will depend on how the political world accepts for defect in the global economy. In today's dangerous world, Smick suggests that finance leaders should have eyes wide open to face this risk. Before the rise of new crises, we should establish an effective operational plan to reduce global imbalance. Leaders must create a reliable approach that reflects on the opportunities and risks of investing funds, contraction of liquidity around the world, and we need to stop the reckless policy of trade protectionism and the class struggle. Therefore, policymakers need to get the global financial system more higher in transparency and confidence in the future. And as a result, we need to be more clearly that to achieve a high productive result. We live in an age that can save a new global economy. Policymakers need to properly capture important moments, and right now, this moment is an important historical moment. Through good leadership, we can continue the remarkable development of the past 25 years. Otherwise, we will once again experience in new economic pain. The second of the Great Depression is unlikely to happen. It is not only absurd idea completely, but the world is fully curved.
Thanks for watching! Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.